What's up everybody, Senkai here, and today I want to do another pickups video. This will be for the months of September and October. It's now November, and by doing this I'm finally up to date again. I didn't really talk about that in my previous videos, but why I've been away for quite a while is because I had to get a new phone. That's what I'm using to record these videos, and yeah, just been very busy this summer in real life, but yeah, I'll try to to be back on YouTube. It's a lot of fun to make these videos, and yeah, this will be all the games that I bought recently. So let's get to it. First up, the Nintendo Switch games. Let's cover those. Super Mario Odyssey. I did a review on this game. Check it out. If there's anything more I want to say about the game, then that it's really, really good and so much fun to play. Is that I think I was talking about console generations in the review, saying how this felt like a Generation 7 game. What I was trying to say is that this game feels complete, and you can say that you don't like a certain aspect, or there was some things I didn't like in the game. Mainly the progress from stage to stage in the main game and how easy you can beat it. But those are nitpicks. By the end of the day, this game has so much content without DLC and patches. It's really, it's phenomenal, really. I'm not sure if I can call this a masterpiece such a short time after the release. I need to think more about it. Few games are that good at the end of the day when you've been thinking more about it, really. This is still very fresh to me. But I don't complete games too often, and I feel that this was a blast to play for as many hours as I did. So yeah, there's that. Pick it up if you haven't. Super Mario Odyssey, such a staple for Switch owners. I believe everybody who has a Switch has got this already, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it. So there's that. In September was my birthday, so there's some gifts, and the next game I have in the pile here is Azure Striker Gunvolt 1 and 2. They're both games are bundled into a compilation here. His real name is actually Armed Blue Gunvolt, I think. Exactly. So because this is a Japanese release, and so that should be the official name of this game. But if you pop it into a Switch with like English settings, this will be Azure Striker Gunvolt and have all the English text with still Japanese voice acting, and that was so nice. This is a platformer game, or action game, really, I should say. Action platformer, 2D game. Very similar to the Rockman Zero series on the Game Boy Advance, if you played those. It's very heavy on story. Story is probably the main focus of the game. Fans of the Rockman series will enjoy playing this just for the gameplay alone too. You could skip the story, I suppose, but what that franchise always did ever since the Rockman X series is trying to make a really good story, and I love the story in those games, but they weren't presented very well until the Zero series, where you have a lot of dialogue and like handmade images to represent what's happening in the story. You can only do that much visual presentation or cinematic, I guess, in a side-scrolling, pixelated like retro game. So it's very nice how all the dialogue and those images makes the story even better. Yeah, I'm going on a whole review here, but I just really like this. I think the first game's story was better, but the gameplay in the second game expanded upon the first one. So, and like it expanded the story as well, even though the first game was good on its own. Love these so much. I might actually do a review on those. but we'll see. Fantastic games. I got this from Mario, so thank you very much. And yeah, it's just very nice to have a physical copy of both of these games on on the Switch in English with Japanese voice acting. Very, very cool. Especially now that I'm such a fan. Yeah, right. I got this as well. This is a Cappy keychain, the new character in Super Mario Odyssey. This came with the game during the midnight launch where I picked it up. So, yeah, I haven't opened it up. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to, but a nice collectible for sure. The third Switch game is Fire Emblem Warriors. I got the limited edition for that game. I wasn't going to originally, but I managed to do some nice trades at GameStop. There was a offer at the time where this game was released that you would get extra more for trading in games. At the end of the day, I got this really cheap. So yeah, it was a no-brainer. And actually opening the box up, the day I got the game, I realized that the content in here was something that I would actually pay for and buy, even if I didn't get this great trade offer. I just think that some pages wrote the wrong details about this collector's edition. They said it came with 5 art cards, a music CD, and the game, and that felt very lackluster because it's this big box, right? It comes with a game, of course, so that's true. Just like Breath of the Wild, the games that come in these collector's edition doesn't have the age rating there, so that looks very clean and nice. With the reversible cover of the map in the game. Nothing special, but I like the cover here. My favorite Fire Emblem is Fire Emblem 3, New Mystery of the Emblem, the remake on the DS especially. So Martha there in the center of the artwork is makes me happy. But like I said, those 5 art cards were actually... let's see if the box has it correct. No, it doesn't even say it on the box. That's so fucked up. But they are plenty. I think they're actually 25 and not just 5. So you have these very nice printed like matte cards, art cards of the characters in this game. And since it's a Warriors game, it's like a collab of a lot of different characters from the series. Unfortunately, for a fan as me, it's very underwhelming because it's just covering the first Fire Emblem and the 2 latest ones. but yeah, because this wasn't like 5 cards and actually a hell of a lot more, I think these were so cool to browse through. Because in a mashup game like this, covering so many games in a franchise, games that already have so many characters in each and every entry, to have your favorite characters present is quite rare. Like you're lucky if you get to see your personal favorite in these crossover games. So having these many art cards, I actually got all the cards that I really wanted. So that was pretty nice. Even Lindis is here from Fire Emblem 7. She was not a part of the story, I'm sorry to say, but she's a unlockable in the game. I did beat the game, but I didn't unlock her. So I will get back to it and do some side content and see if I can unlock her. She used to be my favorite Fire Emblem character back in the day, so yeah. Very cool that she's present, but so far I'm not entirely sure where. A card I didn't get out of this, so I didn't show you, was this character, Xander. He's originally called Marks in Japan. Also one of my favorite characters, for sure. So the next thing in the box was the music CD, which wasn't a music CD. It's a 3 CD soundtrack with like a total of what is it? Let's see here. Yeah, I suppose 75 tracks or something. So I mean, a good job. This is definitely something I would pay money for. So yeah, very cool stuff. No interesting like disc art or anything. It's just yeah, very very basic stuff. But some great music for sure. So that's Fire Emblem Warriors, and what I find funny here with all the Switch games is that I've finished all of them. A lot of times in this pickup video I show you a game that I haven't got around to yet, but since I took this little break, I suppose, I actually played all these games. So hopefully I can do them justice and like tell you all the good stuff. With Fire Emblem Warriors, they also released 2 Amiibos. Like I said in my previous pickups video, I don't collect Amiibos, but I have all of them for the Fire Emblem series. So I actually went and got these as well. Again, for a very good price. So yeah, happy about that. This is Tiki from Fire Emblem 1 and 3, and Chrom from Fire Emblem Awakening. Great, a game I really want to replay after playing Warriors. Awakening, I finished too fast. I finished that game too fast when I when I played it back in the day. It was a game that was delayed so many times and actually arrived to Europe way too late. So when I finally got it, I played it non-stop, beat it in a couple of days, and haven't touched it since. So seeing all the characters in Warriors, I actually want to go back and play Awakening. I also have this huge art book for Fire Emblem Awakening that I look at every now and then, which is very, very nice. So, yeah. Moving back to the pickups. But first, I need something to drink. Thank you very much. I got 2 games for the Vita. 2 used games, old games. I haven't even played these or even tried them out, but games that I was interested in back when they came out and I wanted for a good price, and I did that just now, so a no-brainer to buy them. $10 each. The first one was Sorcery Saga Curry something, Curse of the Great Curry God. What a title. I don't know what this game is, but I really like how it looks, and the thing is, the Vita is the console where I have the most ease playing games. The 3DS is probably my favorite console right now, but the Vita, or original PSP, some of you might know that I think the PSP is fucking amazing. It's, yeah, it's a system that the sleep mode function, or where it's saved when the console died. And the thing is, I can play on my PSP and now Vita anytime, anywhere, and if the battery runs out, I'll just charge it and resume the game where it died. So no worries about bringing it outside and playing it. So what I'm trying to say is that even these games that looks like mediocre or that I'm halfway interested in, I can still play those very efficiently on my Vita, because yeah, just playing games on the Vita is so much easier than any other console for me. And it was the same with the PSP back in the day, and that's what I love it so much. I can play through so many games very easily, and it's just very time efficient playing games on the Vita. So I will check this out eventually. I'm not sure when, but it looks cute. The other one is Conception 2, and this is another one of those cute games, but I always got the impression that this could be something very serious. The graphics running around in dungeons reminds me like of a PlayStation 2 RPG, back when that genre was some of my favorites, and I don't know, this just looks like a really, really good Japanese RPG in terms of graphics. I just like that amount of polygons, I believe. And also the character design here. The main character looks very, very interesting. So this is another one that I will blaze through sometime, but at the moment I don't have a lot to say about this. Funny how I went from I beat all the games to I haven't even tried them, but back to actually games I beat. On the Nintendo 3DS, I got Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. This is a fantastic remake of the original. Many times when remakes are made, people still prefer the old game because they changed things. This is the exact same game using the phenomenal graphics from Dream Team. I guess at the end of the day, graphics are personal preference, but I want to say that objectively this this looks better than the original because it's made into widescreen in such a great way. The Game Boy Advance was already halfway widescreen, so it just looks so good here. The new graphics are much closer to the intended style for this series than it was on the Game Boy Advance. I liked how that game looked back in the day, but they didn't nail the art style in these games until Dream Team. It was close in Bowser's Inside Story, but Dream Team really looks like the artwork you see here on the box, which I hope was the intention from the beginning. So seeing where the series began, a very nostalgic game for me and a super good RPG overall. Remade in my favorite graphic style. It just looks fantastic. The music is remastered as well, and most tracks sounds just as good. Some tracks sounds better, and a few tracks sounds worse. But overall, I think like if you're gonna play Superstar Saga from now on, you want to do it on this card for more reasons that are coming up eventually. But first, I just want to talk about the music a bit more because I initially played this game for 2 hours on my new 3DS XL, and the sound and everything was alright. In my previous pickup video, I talked about how the speakers on the 2DS XL are a bit worse, and when I played this on my 2DS, I didn't really like feel all the music, but I played it with headphones later on, and then I realized that, whoa, it was just me being wrong and the speakers not being very good. Because there's a lot of depth in all of these songs. They are really well made. Like, they are definitely remastered, that's the right word. And they sound awesome with headphones. But if you're playing this on a 2DS XL, use headphones because you're missing out on like half the sounds in every song. It's pretty ridiculous actually, but yeah. Also, the Bowser's Minion parts here is a second campaign in the game. So at first I thought it was like a mini game they threw in just for fun, like in the Game Boy Advance Super Mario remakes. They had like the arcade Mario game available, so you had the main game and then like the arcade whatever in there just for fun. And I thought they would be the same thing, but Bowser's Minions is actually a second campaign in the game with story, and it covers up some of the plot holes, I guess, and characters that are in Superstar Saga that have been in the Mario franchise from before. I'm not going to spoil anything, but you see those and you're like, oh wow, he's back, but you never really got any story to why he's here, because this is a different kingdom. This is like the Bean Kingdom, I believe it's called. So people from the Mushroom Kingdom are here, and you're getting a bit confused. That is all covered up in Bowser's Minions, so excellent stuff. Play this for the remastered Superstar Saga, and definitely do not miss Bowser's Minions, because while it plays very different, it's very similar to a cell phone game. It plays itself, you just collect things and you make your team, and the battles are actually automatically more or less. But still, for the story, great stuff. I really liked this remake for Superstar Saga. And another gift from Mario, together with Azure Striker Gunvolt 1 and 2 that I showed you, I got Monster Hunter Stories. And what was so funny about this birthday, not just like our birthdays are they are 2 days apart. So he got the Japanese version of Monster Hunter Stories, and I got this because this was just released. We have been looking up this game for a long time, and this game is awesome. It just looks so good to start, and it has been out for a while in Japan, and because it was getting released here in Europe, it was the hot topic at the time. So I imported the Japanese version for him, and then I got this because it was released. So we both gave each other this this Monster Hunter Stories, and besides that, I got these 2 games, and I actually gave him Rockman X5 and X6 for PS1. So we both got Monster Hunter Stories and 2 action platformers. So that was great. Back to this game though, this is a turn-based RPG, like a story-heavy, or not heavy really, but it's a campaign game played in the Monster Hunter world with a turn-based combat. And my biggest problem with the Monster Hunter series is that it lacks a campaign. And I also don't really like the combat too much. I enjoy the actual action, but the stage progression and maps are something I'm not a huge fan of. So taking what I don't like in Monster Hunter, patching it up to a game that I absolutely love, or a genre, and just keeping everything that comes to like the world of Monster Hunter and all the monster designs and weapon designs. This is the game that I cherish. I think this was great. It could have been a lot better, and it definitely feels like the first game in a franchise. So I hope this sells well and that we get a Monster Hunter Stories 2, because the amount of cutscenes and actual story in this game was much higher quality than quantity. At times, this game looks like Ni no Kuni on PlayStation 3. The graphics here are something else. Probably the best graphics on 3DS. A very nice looking game. And also why it reminds me of Ni no Kuni and other like huge JRPGs on consoles is because you have a bunch of environments here, like very much like Monster Hunter, the Monster Hunter series. You have like very varied environments because you need that to have varied monster designs. Obviously, the ice monsters are in the ice area, etc., etc. It makes sense. But yeah, it's cool. I believe I finished it in 45 hours or something, somewhere around there. And there is post-game content. And for people who like the post-game content in the Pokemon series, they will like it in here as well. Because it's more about going back and collecting things. There was a bit more story too, and I will probably do that. But for now, I just finished the campaign, and I'm happy. I had a good time with the game, so that's enough for me at the moment. Another thing I want to mention is that if you're a fan of Capcom RPGs, maybe you played Breath of Fire, Rockman EXE, Battle Network, all of, like, yeah, RPGs made from Capcom. One thing that those games have in common is that the quality is very, very high. And like I said, the graphics here are really good, but not just the graphics, the overall quality. Like, this is one of those games that I'm surprised even works on the 3DS, and I got the same vibe from playing Breath of Fire 4, for example, like a game that looks so good, so good. So yeah, very happy to see Capcom being back in the JRPG genre, and I hope they release more games and that this get a sequel, because Capcom are some of my favorites, and I say that all the time, and they keep making some stupid decisions, but at the end of the day, I love Capcom. So yeah, that's Monster Hunter Stories. And the last 3DS game here is Metroid Samus Returns, and wow. So Yeah, you can probably see on my face how much I like this game. This is fantastic. I have a few complaints with it, though. It's not perfect, absolutely not. But similar to Super Mario Odyssey, the controls are so good in this game that it's just fun to play. Um, the combat is so good. You can actually aim anywhere in this game, unlike the previous 2D Metroid games. This is a remake of Metroid 2, and to take a game that's already to remake a game and change the controls so much and still keep the difficulty in check made me so happy. I replayed Resident Evil 4 on the Wii, and it was way too easy. Way too easy. So I was afraid of that in this game as well, but they somehow managed that very, very good. And I was playing on the normal difficulty. You also have hard and fusion mode. Fusion mode requires you to buy a Amiibo and scan it. I was lucky to scan my friend's Amiibo, so my cartridge have fusion mode unlocked, even though I do not own the Amiibo. Very happy about that, if I ever were to replay the game. But normal difficulty was challenging. I died quite a few times, and it's Metroid. You probably know the term Metroidvania now. It's from the Metroid games being the way they are, and this is just like that. The thing that's different with this, because this is remade from a Game Boy game, this is more of a level structured game. So the levels themselves have like these Metroidvania structure, but you move on from level to level more so than having like one open map. If you played like some of the Castlevania games in this genre, you know that it's one big castle. You don't get that feel here. It's more separate levels, but still you can take the items you get in later levels and backtrack and get new upgrades in the previous levels. So it's still very much a Metroidvania, obviously. Great game. There was Metroid games are very bare bones on story, unfortunately. I think that's such a wasted opportunity because they got this great character here, and I really liked Other M, the Wii game, because of that. However, what I wanted to say is that the little story that was here, still no dialogue, but the actual cutscenes and the way Samus moved, especially in the two last cutscenes in the game, expanded her character so much. Especially the boss before the final boss. Right after that, you had a cutscene that made me so emotional. That was very, 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 very beautiful to see. So, super happy with Metroid Samus Returns on 3DS. This also had a collector's edition, but it was over twice the price, and with not content that I could justify. The thing is with the console games, if you have a full price console game like this, and then a collector's edition for a bit more, that makes more sense to me. But with handheld games, for whatever reason, it's not the same. The collector's editions are the same price as console collector's editions, even though handheld games are much cheaper. So that's just food for thought, I guess. Yeah, we have one more game here. But before that one, I want to say that I also got Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. And I love it. I haven't finished the game, and even when I finish the game, I don't know if I will be able to make a review, because it's a adventure style, or like adventure game / visual novel. It's all about the story. But what I can say is that the story is good, the characters are good, it's way better than the other two games, dare I say. So yeah, fantastic stuff. The game apparently wasn't released in Europe on the Vita physically. It was released, it was supposed to be released, and I think you can buy it in Australia and still get the PAL version. But yeah, I look online. A quick Google search, you can find the game in Europe in physical form anywhere. I know in the collector's edition, when you bought it straight from NIS, the publishers of the game, they have a physical copy packed in to the collector's edition. But yeah, so I had to buy that digitally. I will probably buy the PS4 version physically when it gets cheaper. I really want that game in my collection. Another reason for actually buying the PS4 version for preservation is that it has the full game without patches. You needed a 2 GB patch for the Vita version, so even if I had that in my collection, it's not complete really in physical form. So to buy it digitally, just to play it the way I want, I really wanted to play it on the Vita. I'm doing that right now, so I'm satisfied, and as a collector, it wouldn't be any use to buy it for the Vita anyway, so I think I made a good decision really, and hopefully I won't have to pay too much to get a PS4 copy later on. And yeah, so on to the last game. That's Undertale for PlayStation Vita, and I got the collector's edition right here. This was made by Fangamer, and I don't know anything about Fangamer, really, but what I do know is that this game was probably my game of the year 2015. That or Bloodborne. Bloodborne is most definitely the better game. Bloodborne is better than Undertale. But Undertale did a lot of things that connects with me. I have so many good memories of my playthrough of Undertale. It's a very, very special game to me. And to have it in physical form, was something I bought it right away. It was one of the fastest decisions I've ever made when it comes to buying a video game. I saw it was available for pre-orders, and I straight away went for the collector's editions. So yeah, let's do a unboxing here, I suppose. When buying the collector's edition, you got the choice to also buy an art book. So this is not part of the collector's edition. So I don't want to confuse anybody. If you're buying this, you're not getting this. But as a attach to the purchase, you were able to also buy this for another $20. And this is beautiful. I've seen scans of it online before. It's a art book that's more of a it's like the creator's journey through making the game. You have scans or screens of the in-game environments and the artwork, but more than an art book, this is something you want to read actually, because all the text here tells you what they were thinking making this, and this is it's a game where you think a lot. It's a very smart game. So just to read about all these different places, I read through half the book. Yeah, I got to this part here. So yeah, less than half. But I've been reading it for a while, and I will continue to do so, because the reading here is the meat and potatoes. The artwork is good as well. So. And moving on to the collector's edition, this box is not a whole lot more than the game. You are getting this necklace. It's a very beautiful piece if you played the game. I will not take this up. It will remain sealed, I suppose. I will keep it in this box here, because I won't use it. I just won't. It's a very nice collector's item, and also it's part of the box here, so you see it's the front of the box, so I think it looks very nice. I'll just keep it like that. But the next item is more interesting, and something that I will use actually, if I can just open the box here. That's awkward. Was easier the first time around, but there we go. So you're getting the soundtrack on Blu-ray, or at least it's in a Blu-ray case. So it looks like this. You have all the characters on the front and the remaining characters on the back. It's not all the characters, but it's nice to see them together, having a good time. They're performing music. The reversible cover is the same picture, but in color. I could change that, but I don't know. I like it the way it is, with the spine and everything. Also, just briefly mentioning, I think it's very important to put these pieces of paper in cases correctly so you don't damage them. More people should think about that. Just a note. But in here you have the collector's edition soundtrack, like manual. I guess you can see all the... Oh, I actually have piano sheets for everything here. That's very cool. But a track list. It's 107 songs. It's a soundtrack I've been listening to on my phone ever since I beat the game. It's a fantastic soundtrack. But it's on two CDs here. And let's see if it's actually Blu-ray or CD. This is CD. Yeah. That's good. So I can actually play it on my PS4. Or, no, the other way around. I cannot play it on my PS4. Crap. Oh well. Unless they patched that in, I don't know. Back in the day, I couldn't play CDs on PS4. It's very, very weird. Outside of the box, another thing besides the art book, they also send like merchandise for their website, as well as a Toby Fox dog sticker. Very funny if you play the game as well. And a art card of... was about to say the name of the character there, but yeah, the main character anyway. So very, very nice stuff. Very happy to have this. And also, of course, the game comes in a Vita case with like it looks very legit. This is what I dreamed of back when I played the game on PC. I wished it was for 3DS or Vita, because the game doesn't look very good. It's a very ugly game, even by like... I love pixel art. I love retro games. But this is... the art style they used for Undertale is very cheap. But yeah, it's a very legit backside with like... it tells you that you can play on the Vita TV and everything like that. So awesome. Very, very, very awesome. I've been playing it, so the cartridge is not inside. Manual is sealed, and I'll keep it sealed for a bit longer. One thing I want to say about the manual though is that it's a lot more sturdy. It's almost like a hardcover manual, so it will not bend in here. Very often with the Vita and PSP manuals, they get trashed over time in here, but this will stay safe. So yeah, I'll put the box together later, not right now. But yeah, that's it for those 2 months, and we'll see if I do the same thing with November and December and put those together into one video. It's a good format because it gives me more time to buy more games, to have more to show you and more to talk about. Longer videos is a lot more fun to me. Tell me what you think. I can do shorter videos as well, I guess. But yeah, that'll be it for this time. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, get gaming.